This is PJ Denuzzo with Denuzzo Wealth Management, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Denuzzo Wealth Management Market Insights. Today is going to be a change of pace. We're going to talk about mental and physical health thoughts. Again, we've all been caught up with this and been consumed by the news and the media with the coronavirus and the economy, the Federal Reserve, Congress, etc. Constant press briefings on TV that it's a good moment to step back and think about maintaining our mental and our physical health. And just a few thoughts from us at Denuzzo Wealth Management regarding this topic. Uh, just some basics, and I know a lot of folks may already know these, but it's just good to be reminded from time to time. We would recommend, and we try to do this at Denuzzo ourselves, start your day with your most important task. What we attempt to practice at Denuzzo Wealth Management, we call it our TMIT, capital T, capital M, capital I, and capital T, our three most important tasks. And we attempt to write those down every day before we leave work at our workstation, and then accomplish those as our number one priorities the following day. You'll be surprised if you write things down and you only have maybe one thing to do in a day, how many times that one thing doesn't get done. So start with your most important task in the morning, if at all possible. You may find that you're having better success that way. The big one we've talked about, and we'll continue to talk about as long as it's appropriate, but we'd recommend taking a media fast, practice distraction management, double down on mindfulness, gratitude, and being in flow. The media and watching the media can take an awful lot out of you. We'll be talking about that some more throughout the video. Obvious things such as exercise. I mean, exercise just removes those stress hormones right out of our system. It lowers anxiety. And we have to consider that we're all in a more sedentary state with the world working from a virtual perspective. And a lot of folks have really had a material reduction in their activity from going how they were moving on a daily basis, how ambulatory they are, to how stationary we are right now. Try to have clear flows, clear goals rather. These can be your flow trigger to get you in the right frame of mind, to making you feel better about yourself, to have a more successful day. Free your mind up from freeing your mind up from the burden of not accomplishing that task, and remove an awful lot of stress. After you complete the task, move on. And don't forget, you can still set high standards. If you set a high and hard goal, that can increase your motivation by anywhere from 10 to 25%. So that could be a big boost for your day as well. One of the mantras you've heard me mention before, but I feel compelled to reiterate is, let's focus on what we can control and divert our attention away from what we cannot control. So let's focus on what we can control, divert our attention away from the others. There's a lot of situations, there's stress all around us right now. There's family stress, personal stress, health stress, business stress, financial stress, investing stress. So how to deal with others. These can be family members, friends, relatives, associates, peers, etc. But how to deal with others whenever they might become quite unhinged. We have to be mindful to start off with in calming ourselves first. We want to double down on our recovery processes. Again, drinking lots of water, getting a good night's sleep, exercising, eating properly. And the obviouses are that we respond to each other's energy. We want to be cognizant of that and make sure that we're placing ourselves in a position that we wish others to take on. So I learned this from I've been a dog lover my entire life, and dogs are a lot smarter when it comes to that than we are. They can read us just by the vibe and the energy we're putting off to know if we're in a good mood or a bad mood without even saying a word. Just remember some real basic tenets, that when we are fearful or become burned out, we are useless to others. Again, we want to help people. We've got our heart in the right place. But if we allow ourselves for one reason or another to become fearful or burn out, again, we'll be useless to others in helping them. We have to think more about working within boundaries. With our schedules being thrown completely off, with us sort of just snapping our finger and going to a virtual world. So I'd recommend, you may find some success, as we team members at Denuzzo Wealth Management are working on, to try to create a routine in your new environment that could provide some comfort and to make things more efficient. Social support drives our flow. At Denuzzo Wealth Management, we've instituted 2 standing meetings, as we've got team members rather working from dozens of locations. We're on an all team meeting 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. every day. We're communicating. It supports each other. There's conversations going on within our meetings. And again, this is an all virtual meeting. We're doing it through Zoom. This is very beneficial for our team. It opens up additional conversation, one-on-ones and different group conversations within our various planning teams, our portfolio management team, our wealth planning team, and our tax planning team. So I'd recommend potentially if you're able to do something like that, maybe you have a family conversation at the beginning of the day once everybody's up and awake and up and about, just to sort of plan your day and all have a talk in a calm, peaceful manner. Be clear on what you need and what your expectations are for others in times of higher stress as we are now. And of course, avoid assumptions of any type. You know, we hear a lot about social distancing. We've been starting to refer to it here about a week ago or so at Denuzo Wealth Management as physical distancing. We don't want to distance ourselves socially. I mean, that's one of the few things we have to hang on here regarding interaction whenever we're quarantined or semi or quasi quarantined to some perspective. So let's think of it as physical distancing rather than social distancing, and try to stay in the social loop as well as possible. Watching the news creates some very bad stress hormones, which will increase your heart rate. It will make your brain perceive stress. It affects the way your brain pays attention. Just a lot of challenges. So again, be careful with how much news and media you're consuming. As we've talked consistently, as I mentioned throughout the videos, the media does not have any interest in informing you or educating you. I said, anywhere you go, there's a lot of information, very little knowledge, and zero wisdom. So that's what we're trying to bring to the table. Our 31 years of experience, our combined well over 100 years of experience with all of our lead wealth advisors. We're trying to bring this to the table to our clients on a daily basis. Again, so consider that information fast. Whenever possible, even pull yourself away from social media and from the media even for a couple of hours. Again, we talked about working at home. We forget how curious of creatures we are. When we're working from home, it could be more of a monotonous environment. So we want to be careful. It's easy for us to underestimate our desire for novelty in the world and how we crave different and new perspectives. Even going outside every day, the weather's a little bit different. The leaves are a little different color. The grass is a little different. The scenery is different, and it stimulates us. So just be very careful that you're staying in a good place mentally. So we feel connected to others when we feel seen, when we're listened to or valued. And one of the things that we really like about our virtual meetings, and we've been doing these now, we started with GoToMeeting years and years ago, but we switched over to Zoom about a year ago, is that we feel it's very beneficial when we're having a distance meeting, a virtual meeting with our clients. But it also provides a tremendous amount of benefit to the other party as well, to us and our lead advisors, or on your other side of the virtual meeting. So it's important for us in the back of our mind that we are being seen and heard, and it's really a plus. It's a benefit for both sides who are on that virtual meeting to be able to see each other. So I know our advisors, as they're reaching out to clients, and again, we're just in full relationship management mode. We're just in communicating however clients like to communicate. Our preference obviously would be to be on a Zoom call with you, to be able to see you and you could see us. Secondarily to that would be to be on a phone call. And we still, do have clients who just prefer an email. Let's just correspond through email. Our lead advisors are the experts. They know how their clients like to communicate. So our key is just 100% relationship management mode, staying in as close contact as possible. And finally, in summary, just some other ideas are our flow. If we can get into our flow, one thing that I believe in is a power hour where you're doing some type of exercise, you're doing some type of meditation or prayer or heart rate variability to just calm your system, stretching, yoga, everything. Things work different for different people, but try and incorporate that into your life to get you into a proper flow that will positively improve your immune system. And don't forget some of the basic tenets again. The more afraid we get, the more selfish we get. If you do compassion meditation, that will massively expand your empathy. When you're in tune with empathy, or you're in tune with being in gratitude, just your horizons will open up, and again, it will improve your immune system. Negative moods hurt your immune system, as we can imagine. And one final note, that positive moods, of course, will help your immune system. So I know a lot of these may be common sense, things you're already practicing, but I like to be reminded of all the basics. We're in Pittsburgh here. Chuck Noll, the famous coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I had a $5 bill for every time that I recall him saying, we're going back to basics, we're going to go back to blocking and tackling, we're going back to basics this next practice or next week. So today's just a little bit of a back to basics. Let's remember what's important to us in our life. And again, just wanted to get off of the topic of strictly talking dollars and cents and markets, etc., and just talk about our personal health and well-being. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening in today. And again, to our DiNuzzo Wealth Management market insights. But again, this one was of a personal nature, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you so much.